with Isha?
Yes, I do practice. I do practice. So thank you so much, Ek, for accepting the invitation and being with us today. Just give an idea to my audience that Jake is the founder of Shifting the Awareness organization, and
Shifting
he's
into awareness.
shifting into the awareness. I'm sorry. And this is a wonderful organization which is bringing a lot of people on a spiritual path. And the technology and the tools and techniques which he is using is associated with the awareness. And that's where somehow I got the resonating with him when I was at certain times and finding out that how certain answers I was finding, and divine landed me to interact with this wonderful being. So today we just want to listen that starting from your journey, like मतलब आपने ये path लिया, you have I've got some understanding and I've heard something about that. How come you are in this path? So I know there
Well,
are a lot of gurus associated with this, but आपका start कैसे हुआ journey in spiritualism?
okay. First of all, thank you. It's a pleasure to talk to you again here. And I don't know what you are planning to do here, but whatever it is must be for good because I can see your platforms are working towards divinity, spreading the divine love and light. And that is all our themes are about. We are all on that same frequency. So I'm delighted to be here. And no structure. I think you're just going to ask whatever. So asking about my journey, it is nothing very unusual. So I won't say I was born and then there was a thundering and there was lightning and this happened and that happened and this. Definitely there was a lot of thunder and lightning in my life. And those thunder and lightning only made me come into spirituality, what we call as spirituality. There was an intense urge to find out what is all this nonsense about. Failed relationships and these things and all, a divorce and gone through a lot and being an alcoholic and into many other habits and things like that. I was lost, literally. So I strongly believe these are all needed for us to grow. And
Hmm.
these are our lessons that are coming from Prarabdha, our own karmas, our own dramas. So we are
Hmm.
reliving it. And when we relive it, we understand, what we do to others, what happens to us. So that's a problem to us. And that was my learning. So multiple jolts, one after the other, when I got into. Slowly, I started having this questions of what is this life about? What is this mundane existence? Why do I exist? And why are these troubles? Why these pains and sufferings and this and that? And so I kept on ruling with this, and one after the other, I was led somehow through grace to books and people, and then slowly into spirituality, then gurus and saints. And then I saw it was just a blast opening. And before I could know what's happening, these horizons just opened, especially encounters with masters and especially meeting my own Gurudev and all, and life just changed after that.
Hmm.
So it went through that and it took me around 7 8 years to understand what's happening. So
Hmm.
now I can relate and say, oh yes, so this is what the journey. Then I look at saints life, I look at people like you and so many others, and I see many are having in the process of awakening, some
Hmm.
have already had.
Hmm.
And when we get into this, I understand, okay, that's where it's coming from. And that's how we can say I was brought into this by grace. I
Hmm.
am even today led by grace because I can see very clearly I am incapable of doing anything. See, my incapability only brought me here in
Hmm.
that seeking.
Hmm.
And now I realize even this, whatever we are doing also,
Hmm.
it's something unfolding. So
Hmm.
there is nothing much for me to do here. I'm just here to live this life as it is. So today I feel like speaking, I speak. I don't. So there is no agendas here. There is
Hmm.
nothing that I've come to save humanity here, or no agenda of spreading my love and light and all those things.
Hmm.
Today I feel like it's a spontaneous reaction.
Hmm.
So that is what I share today. That is what I try to share and teach people about. Just take life as it comes. And this platform just automatically got built up, shifting into awareness, and then things fell into place, and it's going on till it goes. Right? That's
Wonderful.
what mine.
But very beautifully, Dick, you said that after the trials of the life, you got into the questioning that who I am, why this is happening to me. But majorly, like in this era and this time when people, definitely every one of us, everyone on the planet is on certain kind of a trials of life. But everyone will not go into that kind of an introspection that why this is happening, why
Yeah.
this is, will go into that introspection. But
Yeah.
definitely the person can put themselves into a drugs or other kind of a emotional patterns or other, things which is a bondage to put that energy even pulling into the lower to the spiritualism. So
Right.
how come this is like, that person like you or someone who is into the questioning of this thing, how anyone can have that kind of questioning, like how it is possible that everybody or anyone who is going through that trial can click on those questions instead of going into the sabotaging, himself or herself.
Yes. Basically, human nature is such that they will not learn without pain.
Hmm.
Very, very clear.
Hmm.
If you study even our own nature or study anybody's nature, you will see human history also. They have not learned or they have not been bent to have an inclination towards something better than what they are having
Hmm.
until they go through something which they are not comfortable with.
Yeah.
But unfortunately, human tendency is such that also they will not learn very easily
Yeah.
because, and why they don't learn easily is this, as you said, these behaviors and all that come because karma is holding them. There are some
Hmm.
sort tendencies, and
Hmm.
these tendencies also play a part in your awakening. The tendency is the reason why you get into trouble, and then you see the trouble, then you see the tendencies and you're aware of the tendencies, but again those tendencies, it battles with
Yes.
yourself. So
Yes.
the whole spirituality is nothing but awakening to that by
Hmm.
the pain,
Yeah.
because without pain I will not get punctured,
Yeah.
my ego doesn't get punctured. Somewhere we have to bend down.
Yeah.
That is spiritual nature until you become humble. And how can we become humble? Life has to tame us.
Yeah.
Such incidents has to happen in our life where we somehow realize we are not the ultimatum. There is
Yeah.
something higher than us. There
Yeah.
is something that runs the whole system, the whole universe. This whole thing, if you see amazing things that's happening around, we are not open to it yet
Yeah.
because man has the tendency to feel that everything is happening due to me. And
Hmm.
that is where life tries to bend. Spirituality means bending that and telling it's not about you. There's
Hmm.
something else. And
Hmm.
that else is what you are, which you will
Hmm.
eventually realize. You have made yourself separate and you
Hmm.
are imagined yourself to be somebody else and thinking that is powerful. That is
Yeah.
a false I. And
Yeah.
it will eventually lead you to tell no. False
Yeah.
I is not real. There is a real I.
Yeah.
So it will throw all these kind of life situations to you where
Hmm.
you're challenged to go beyond the false I and
Hmm.
seek the real I. And the moment you see the real I, you realize that's me. That's the fun in spirituality.
Yeah.
But these self-sabotaging behaviors and all what you said, these will come up because these also have to be played out. People don't understand this most of the time. They say, if I'm a spiritual person, how can I have bad habits? I'm telling all the spiritual people have bad habits.
Yeah.
And they say, no, they're faking a
Hmm.
hypocrisy. I've seen the best of people in the
Hmm.
highest of evolution also having flaws.
Oh.
Only thing is, they are dormant. The tamas and rajas
Hmm.
are lowered,
Hmm.
sattvic might be high.
Hmm.
They, you call them saintly, you call them
Hmm.
divinely, fine. That
Hmm.
doesn't mean they have eradicated. You cannot eradicate. The three
Yeah.
gunas will be there, but
Hmm.
in different ratios. So
Oh.
in a divine person, it
Hmm.
is sattvic is more, but rajas and tamas is there.
Okay.
That can keep raising its hood. So that is where you try to find the balance of understanding my nature, that I have these gunas and these can rise up its hood somewhere or the other. So I develop such kind of practices where I keep them
Hmm.
in a certain state
Hmm.
without allowing it to overwhelm me. You cannot destroy them. There is
Yeah.
only one way to destroy these gunas. You go gunatita. You have to go
Okay.
even beyond sattvic.
Yeah.
Then Nirguna Tattva, when you
Yeah.
go, then only you can bash these things out.
Yeah.
People think only सात्विक गुना बढ़ाएंगे, इसको घटाएंगे या हटाएंगे. हटा
Yeah.
नहीं सकते. It's very difficult.
Yeah. Yeah.
So these tamas and rajas are those places where these self-sabotaging behaviors, all this from past karmas, they are lying pending there. So
Hmm.
eventually with our sattvic swarupa, as we are doing our practices, they slowly start dissolving and becoming powerless,
Wow.
but not to the null. They
Yeah.
become very much powerless. So
Yeah.
they remain very much dormant to the extent that they don't trouble you. So
Yeah.
if I say I've left my smoking, I've left my alcohol, I've left my tendencies and all that, that's fake.
Hmm.
This alcohol and the cigarette can come up today also.
Okay.
Like Vishwamitra,
Yeah.
who said, Kam pe vijay par
Uh,
prapt hua.
uh,
No,
Yeah.
One Ramba came and played around, and that can happen, and that can
Yeah.
happen to me also. One
Absolutely.
Ramba can come and play Nritya around me, so I cannot be ego boosting and say no, I am done. Narada also did that. Said I am
Wow.
beyond, I'm Jitendriya beyond the, and Narayana tested him.
Yeah.
The moment he saw the girl when he came to the third dimension, he
Mm.
fell flat. That means even Narayana, even sorry, Narada, and
Mm.
even Vishwamitra had these gunas, but they are very dormant. So who are we then? If those rishis were that way, who are we then? Why keep boasting I am pure and all that? We are not. We must understand this is there in our nature. So it's okay to have bad
Yeah.
habits.
Yeah.
It's okay to have negative tendencies, but we must know that eventually they can be eradicated depending on how I keep on balancing my life.
Oh, this is so wonderful to hear. The way you expressed is actually giving me the sense. And no, this is a beautiful explanation. And
There's, what we talk here is always practical spirituality. We talk very practical. We are not talking on goody goody things and holy holy things. No, this is raw spirituality because practically we are all dealing with it every day. So
yeah.
we cannot sit with glorified. All those who sit in glorified get hallucinated and
Hmm.
they get into a teleported into a different world and they live in hoax. It is
Yeah.
fake
Yeah.
because again every day life will test you.
Yes.
So though if I sit claiming I am very pure and this, then every day I'm challenged because every day life will keep slapping me and telling, no, you are not. No, you
Yeah.
are not.
Yeah.
And that is very bad to take, you
Yeah.
know. So then that guilt comes in and then
Mm.
confusion comes in, then conflict comes in. Then I get devastated. Then even I question my own self-doubt comes in. All those challenges are there. So it's better to live practically.
Wonderful, wonderful. That's I think you have opened up my vision in a very different aspect because somewhere most of the people they see as guru sages, all goody goody things in that, and people those who are
Mm.
very emotionally intelligent and very spiritual, perception is like different for them. That ये
Yes.
बहुत pure है. So this is something which is actually resonating. Perfect. So
See,
how
and what
come?
happens? What happens? The same thing, when we have kept people all on high pedestals,
Hmm.
especially the masters, everybody,
Hmm.
the saints, and everything.
Hmm.
Then it is a big pressure for them also
Yes.
because now they have to meet the expectations,
Yeah.
and it's a big struggle to keep
Yeah.
that expectation. So
Yeah.
better to be frank. And then what happens if one flaw you see about somebody saintly
Yeah.
there,
Mm.
then it's
There's a super
rapid.
disconnect.
But disconnect, nahi, it becomes a big rumor and big scandal and things like that.
Yeah.
This is why it happens because the practicality is challenged there,
Yeah.
and someday these things will show up. So it's
Yeah.
better to live like this, and
Yeah.
we are safe in that. बोलो पहले ही हम शुद्ध नहीं है बाबा, हम कोई एंजल वेंजल नहीं है, just ordinary people, but
Yeah.
internally keep working on your godly stuff.
Yeah. Wonderful. So what is your how you would guide people? Like I know that awareness is one thing that just the way you explained that how you can make those two aspects dormant रहे वो हावी ना हो
Yes.
आपके दिमाग पे. What are the tools for which is a very but जो आम normal people can use?
Yes. Aam आदमी के पास, if you see the common man, everybody has something called awareness. We are all aware of things. We are
Mm.
all conscious of things.
Mm.
Only thing that our consciousness is not yet aware. We have not become alive in that aspect. Like
Mm.
we are living the mundane life, morning to evening. But there is a witness aspect in us. There is awareness in us that can notice and observe things
Mm.
and look at it from a very detached point of view.
Mm.
We don't live in that. We live in the mind. Mind is not detached. Mind is attached and entangled,
Mm.
completely entangled in all everything. You
Mm.
get into any aspect of this world, you'll see you are simply entangled as though it is very real, and you are into it, and then you get affected by it. Action, reaction, all those things come. But one aspect in you that is known as the Shiva Tattva, the God within us, that inner being or the higher self, whatever you call that, many concepts. So that has this witnessing power. But what happens is, while we are in the ego mind
Mm.
zone, we shift that awareness. It is the same awareness. It should be on the soulfulness, but from there it shifts to the ego, and we live in the ego mind.
Mm.
So wherever this awareness is, it's like a
Mm.
light
Mm.
that becomes brightened. So if I'm in my mind, what is there in my mind? All kachada, all the vasanas, tendencies, karma, and all these things are there playing havoc,
Mm.
memories, guilt, hate, all these things are there. So that I illuminate that. So I constantly live in this reactive mode all the time.
Hmm.
Whereas shifting into awareness means you shift your awareness into the real you,
Hmm.
into that aspect which is witnessing. So that is what I'm calling as shifting into awareness. Means shifting from where? From the mind ego. You shift. It's a small shift. For that, we do very simple practices. Very simple practices.
Hmm.
That simple practices is what allows you to practice this 24 by 7. Because a common man, like for example, if you are working in the kitchen, you can be in awareness. One
Hmm.
is you choose in your mind. If you choose in your mind, you are cooking things, memories will come.
Hmm.
You'll go into thoughts, you'll go into future planning, or you'll go into past regrets, something like that. But you cannot be in the present.
Hmm.
But the moment you shift into awareness by a simple practice called peripheral vision, for example.
Hmm.
So I'm cooking. I am While I'm cooking, I am becoming aware of my peripheral vision, what all things are there around me. So I can see the exhaust fan, I can see the chimney, I can see a refrigerator, I can see some vessels behind. All those things are there.
Hmm.
Whatever can see. So what happens is I'm spread out.
Hmm.
This is called the peripheral vision. When you spread out, what happens is your awareness, instead of just being on the vessel,
Hmm.
it will
Hmm.
not be on the vessel also. It will be lost. It will go into the mind and then you start thinking. But when
Hmm.
you spread out consciously, you'll see that you're aware of the pan, you're aware of the gas, you're aware of things around. And what happens is you remain in this spread awareness. When you are in the spread awareness, you'll notice you cannot be in your mind. There will be not a single thought at that time when you do this practice. So more and more we keep on. There are hundreds of ways, small like this practices. That is what we keep giving to people. And I don't believe in 1 hour meditation, 2 hour meditation, tapas, and all that. What they do with closed room, because many people close their room and sit and hallucinate. They are
Hmm.
only having more of visualization of the mind. Unfortunately, people do the sadhana and tapas with their mind. They have to do with their
Hmm.
mind.
Hmm.
And most of the time, there's a challenge because that mind is a platform where they are planning to do this tapas, this meditation, this technique. They're using the mind. But when they are in the mind has other impurities also. That also will rush. So they are simply sitting there and challenging for 1 hour and they're playing with their mind and they come out, Mera aaj ka meditation ho gaya. Nothing happens. Where is your consciousness rising? Where are you becoming more aware of what is it about these illusions of the mind? How my mind is playing? Am I getting detached? Nothing is happening. So I just believe that I'm doing something. That is why people after 10 years, 5 years, nothing is happening. What
So
what further?
I want to understand this thing because this is very beautiful. How someone can actually see and have a gauge that yes, this is something who is witnessing and not this is, I mean, again in my mind. How someone will
It
know
can
about
happen.
this?
It can happen with practice. That is why what I'm saying right now is a talk.
Hmm.
What we do in our sessions, our Zoom sessions, webinar, and all that, with the talk, we have an experience.
Hmm.
Okay. Like for example, right now you are sitting.
Hmm.
Let's go straight to the experience only instead of
Yeah,
just talking
that's
about
good.
it. Then you
Yeah,
will have a conviction. You're
yeah,
looking at me, right? Right
yeah,
now you're only looking at me.
yeah.
But do you mean to say only I exist in front of you
No.
right now? What all exists in front of you?
So there's a
Without
computer
without
there.
having to look here and there. You're
Yeah, there
looking
are
at me
other.
only.
Yeah.
Can you become aware of what is the other?
Yeah, I can. I was just actually
Just become
practicing
aware.
when you were saying I was practicing and being aware, like what all things
Now
are.
do it little more concretely. You can keep talking to me, but at the same time keep identifying the object. Oh, there is a fan, there is a sofa, this is this color, there is a floor, there is the ceiling, there is a
Hmm.
fan, there is an AC, whatever. Talking only and what happens? You keep doing, I'll tell you. You can
So
keep
one thing
talking
I'm
to me.
experiencing, let me tell you, one thing when you are saying this, one thing is I'm experiencing is like my eyeballs are got stuck on one.
Yes, it has to fix.
Yes,
It will
fix.
not rotate here and there. And please understand, when the eyes fix, that is the first step that your mind is stilling down.
Yeah.
If the eyes are moving, it
Mm.
means the mind is moving.
Yes.
Okay, that's an indication. And it goes on deepening. The eyes will become frozen. Keep doing it. I'm all the viewers who are doing this.
Mm.
You keep listening to me and be engrossed in it, but at the same time, go into identifying. Ah, I can see this here. And see what is happening when you're identifying more and more things,
Wow.
more and more, not one. You're trying to bring everything into that awareness. What happens? Suddenly, your eyes will see it's getting focused and still. That is an indication mind is becoming calmer there and it is stilling down. Nischalman is happening. Further, when you keep on expanding, Do that. I'll reduce my words and just do that. Go into the texture, go into the color of things, go into the shape of things, and go into inclusion. Include more and more things into such a way that everything you are experiencing at one time, you don't have to move from one object to the other. Include all the objects.
Oh, this
Include.
is
Keep on
amazing.
including. See, right now, see, there is no thought in your mind. Where are the thoughts gone? So
Absolutely.
the whole idea is the moment you shift into this awareness, mind cannot function.
Hmm.
Mind arrests, it stops. That is the indication I stop. And if you deepen, you come and sit in our webinars and things, you'll see people for 2 to 3 hours sitting with their eyes open like an owl. Some don't even blink. If you don't blink, that means there is complete shunya thoughts. There is no thought. Blink is a thought.
Okay.
Eyes go to that state where, and what is samadhi with eyes open?
Hmm.
You can enter into samadhi with the eyes open. So I don't teach people closed eye meditation. I tell them meditate with your eyes open, meditate in the buses, meditate in bus stands, meditate where there is crowd, meditate in a marriage ceremony. Be there, sit there, and just enter into there. You'll become still. And the amazing thing is, you all the sound will drop. There'll be noise, but when you do this practice, it will just stop. I want to share this. I was in Kalyan bus stand and I was reading about Mahalaleshwari, and that is where I entered into trance for 1 hour, close to 1 hour. That was around 2 years, 3 years back, and that is what brought me into shifting into there. I had this awareness because heavy bus stand and bus traffic and all that noise. Suddenly, I noticed there was only tears flowing because I was reading Mahalaleshwari. She's a great Avaduta, and I got connected to her consciousness, and that overwhelmed me so much. I just got frozen. My body did not move, my eyes were not moving, only tears were dropping. I could see my shirt wet. I couldn't do anything about it. Even though I knew I was crying, I couldn't do anything about it. It was like just a witness. And then I could see people running around, like I'm looking at the book, but people are moving around and absolutely no sound. It was just like mute in that Kalyan bus stand. So when I got that first experience, I said, this is it. And I had that eagerness, I must share this. This is so beautiful. I mean, this is meditative awareness where you are alive, eyes are open. You are not gone into meditation. You are not fooling yourself, nothing. And as a normal life. And beautiful thing is, nobody knew I was in that state. Not a soul around. And that's the best way to live. Live यही कपड़ों में रहो, simple raho, and be in your deep meditative states in this world, and let not a soul know that you're meditating. That's
Beautiful.
our goal, what we try to set here.
This is so awesome. I can't, I'm having goosebumps right now. और मुझे वो अजीब सी feeling आ रही है. I don't know what is happening, but
वो
still,
goosebumps इसलिए हो रहा है because what I'm telling you is already within you. You
yeah,
have the knowledge of this. So I'm just reminding you. So when I remind you, you have you say, wow. Who's
yeah.
saying wow? Wow means you already know it, right?
Mm.
It's correcting. It's connecting. You already know something, and somebody from outside you say, yeah, you got. So that means you know it. So this wisdom is there in all of us. We are just reminders. All
Mm.
the teachers and mediators, all these people are just reminders. They don't teach anything. There's nothing to teach from outside. We all know this.
But there's a question coming in my mind
Yeah.
that whenever we are dealing with a situation, that difficult time, suppose something comes, like people, those who are working in corporates, like I do give trainings in corporates and
Uh-huh.
life in corporates, and mostly the people, those who will be watching our this interviews, definitely they will be HR or L&D experts, and they are into continuous stress, of so many things.
Yeah.
How these people can actually access this tool? Because what I
They
can
can.
feel is like, being in present with you now, I'm experiencing that. But if
Yes.
suppose this is a moment where the situation comes, a difficult situation comes, and somebody is shouting in front of me, I cannot have an still eye contact with that person and keep my mouth shut. I have to engross in the conversation, and
Right.
I have to engross in the situation. So in that
Right.
case, how I can be aware and I can be, being associated with a social drama also.
Yes. For that, you have to build up in such a way your awareness that you remain. See, why we get reactive, why we get engrossed in people, and why we get entangled with all the dramas around. There is
Mm.
filthy dramas going on from morning to night, not just in the offices, even in your own families. People
Yes.
don't talk about this, but
Yes.
right, it begins from morning to
Yes.
evening, it goes on, and we are continuously entangling in this. So they don't understand. Okay, fine. But when we give them the wisdom,
Mm.
we have to be first stabilized. Like,
Yeah.
for example, if you sit with me, you will enter into it very naturally, even right now. Without
Yeah.
effortlessly, it will happen.
Yeah.
If you're just in that. Why is that happening? Because that presence is powerful. That
Yes.
awareness has been stabilized.
Yeah.
So you must work on that
Mm.
and bring that presence into such a stillness. And from that stillness, when you counsel, when you try to help people,
Mm.
it is more than your words.
Yeah.
Your consciousness actually acts on them. Words are just reminders or just
Mm.
connecting. It's like a
Mm.
ignition key.
Mm.
But the moment they get your attention, when they are looking or listening to you, that's the
Mm.
words are just to trap that. Once they have your attention into that, then they are engulfed by the conscious, the presence, the stillness that you hold. So
Mm.
that simply means, if I have to be in those positions where I have to help people, I
Mm.
have to first be sterilized in that kind of a presence. So I have to master it in such a way, and then it is no skill, then it is no intellectual stuff. Then intellectual is just bahana. Like what I'm
Mm.
talking right now, words are just to entertain you. But
Mm.
what works more is the presence. The presence engulfs you. So
Mm.
words we use only for catching and keeping them held up.
Mm.
So you
Mm.
can do it with people in that manner. Words
Mm.
can be used
Mm.
for just taking their attention. But I'm telling you, if you speak, it might not have much impact. But if your consciousness speaks,
Mm.
it is very powerful, very transforming.
Mm.
Maybe they are listening, maybe they don't understand, but their consciousness will freeze.
Mm.
And it's a communication between two consciousness. That is more powerful, that is more eternal, and that is more beneficial for them.
Mm.
It might not happen in one or two
Mm.
sittings,
Mm.
but definitely it will leave an impact. It will leave, like, it will put some seeds in their
Mm.
consciousness. So
Mm.
we can be patient because these things are not very easy. We cannot
Yeah.
get it in one shot. So we
Mm.
can understand how difficult. See, for us only it's so difficult. So
Yeah.
for them also it might be so difficult who have
Yeah.
no spiritual connection.
Absolutely.
So we can be compassionate on that terms and understand. And if that understanding extends from your end,
Mm.
they love to be in your presence. They
Yes.
will like to return back because people just want to be heard. People
Yeah.
want to be loved.
Yes.
There is nothing else that people are seeking. बाकी सब बहाना है.
Mm.
Career है, desire है, ये goal. It's all simple. Simply they are seeking love,
Yeah.
love and attention. So if that is given in whichever form,
Yeah.
they will start settling down. And
Yeah.
then you put the actual thing to them.
What is
Oh yeah. Then you tell the real thing. What are they running about?
it?
Starting, you can't tell all these things. But
Okay.
once they start settling down and they experience, stillness is coming, some peace is coming, some relaxation, some hope is coming,
Mm.
then is the right time to introduce them to the right practices where they can
Mm.
deepen their experiences.
Yeah.
And
So,
that will have impact also.
okay. I just want to know one more thing that, most of the times I've heard that every human being is having a different stage of spirituality, is standing on a different phase in a stage.
Right.
And if someone is ready for the spiritual, wisdom to come, he or
Mm.
she needs to be resonating at that frequency so that, the person can connect. Because
Yeah.
what I can feel, I have done certain spiritual courses. I
Mm.
practice Isha, but other
Mm.
people also done the same thing. They have not connected with that the way I have connected.
Right.
So what is this? Like why they have not connected, why I am connected?
Your level of evolution, your state of evolution is different. Everybody's state of consciousness is different. So according to their level of conscious, like for example, we are talking now, you and me are having a discussion. Now
Hmm.
you make 10 people sit, or all the viewers are there. Let's say 100 viewers are watching this. All
Hmm.
the 100 will not have the same experience. All 100 will not have the same understanding. They
Exactly.
will all 100 will interpret or misinterpret according
Hmm.
to their level of
Yes.
consciousness. So we cannot do much on that. What
Hmm.
happens normally, what I've seen, how I've seen the experiences, these things very naturally unfold
Yeah.
without external support.
Okay.
Actually, there is no need to even find out who's where and try to tell them this is the way or make them
Hmm.
understand. It's not.
Hmm.
Because at their level of resonance, they will have their kind of teachers.
Oh,
They will attract that kind of experiences,
yes.
and only that can teach. So I always say life is the Mahaguru.
Yes.
Rest all gurus are just mediators,
Yeah.
but Shiva or the supreme consciousness or God or Allah, whatever you call that,
Yeah.
that powerful one, that teaches through nature, through experiences, through people, places, things. So
Mm,
we actually need not worry.
mm,
In Shiva Sutras, this is known as Shaktipat. Shaktipat is given by Shiva right from stage one, from your gross level of
mm,
complete ignorance. And what is the Shaktipat? Shaktipat are your life incidents. Yeah, ठोकर लगी, there I had pain, I had some loss, some death happened, some relationship broke, this thing happened, my heart broke, or I felt illness,
mm,
deep illness or something.
mm.
And this is defined as Shaktipat.
Okay.
Why? Because he's reminding you, he's
Mm,
giving you doses because you are going to an extreme, you are
mm,
given those.
mm,
And when you have awakening, when you start questioning, what is that? What is that? What
mm,
is something higher? What is
mm,
all this mundane experience? That is
mm,
Shaktipat happening.
mm,
That Shaktipat eventually leads you to a guru or mentor or a
mm,
mediator or
mm,
something, or a book or a
mm,
video or a documentary where you get an exposure of something deeper. And
mm,
then you are like, wow, then you have an awakening. That is another level of Shaktipat. So this way, life is a guru. It keeps teaching.
mm,
You and me can be an instrument
mm,
somewhere in that game where
mm,
people might walk to you, or people
mm,
might come and interact with you, or some incidents might happen, and
mm.
your presence might change their lives. We are not changing.
Yes.
That same tattva,
Yeah.
like it is working through others, it is
Yeah.
working through me also. So in
Yeah.
this, what I understand is I have my limitations.
Mm,
Whatever I am delivering, whoever is supposed to catch that, that is
mm,
my area of work. Rest, I
mm,
need not worry. So if
mm,
it is something higher, something else will take care. If it is something lower, something will take care.
mm.
And where I am resonating, that much I will be taking care of. This is how the practical things I've seen in life.
Yeah.
It works.
But one thing again, the you said Shiva Tattva, and we are taking the all analogy of Hindu mythology, which I have seen the programs also. So
Mm.
is it something which is a mandate, when
No.
we're talking about spiritual things? Because
Mm.
because from my experience, uh, even I'm sitting in Gurdwara, even I am being with associated with any kind of a deity or anything.
Right.
I don't know, I feel it's the same thing. And I can feel other people like my husband and people where I am born and it's very religious Sikhism is there.
Mm. The
Even there
fanatic
is
person.
a very high level of consciousness, very high level
Mm.
of consciousness. But
Okay.
still there is a certain kind of a bubble, a religious bubble, where, you know, where people are not having an eye to see beyond that. And
Yes.
they're just stuck with that bubble.
Yes.
So I have two questions in this. First is like, is it a barrier for definitely, for them and for others also? And although for my logical mind also, when I ask the logic mind, okay, fine. If I talk about Isha, they also have a certain methodology, Adi
Yeah.
Yogi and Shiva.
Yeah.
And if I talk
Basically, we
about
call them as concepts.
exact
Yeah.
concepts, these are
Mm.
concepts, but taken from a religious concepts, right?
Yes.
If I talk about any other religious organization, they will also take it from some religious concepts.
Yes.
That is why people got stuck.
Yeah. So you're
I have
asking
seen,
about the stuckness.
yes, I'm asking about the stuckness because
Until when, and is there anything beyond how it affects us and others? That's what you
exactly,
asked.
exactly.
But first question that you asked was, is it mandate? That
Yes,
I'm using a lot of scriptures. I use a lot of Upanishads.
yes,
Use a lot of
yes,
higher scriptures
yes.
like Devi Kalottara,
Yes.
Upadesaram, Shiva Sutras, Ashtavakra Gita, Bhagavad Gita, Uddhav Gita, and all these I use.
Yeah, and
Why?
personally,
Because
personally, I feel that these are amazing, amazing things.
yes, definitely. But why I use them?
Mm,
Because of this. What you said, they are amazing.
mm,
Because we can relate to mythology.
mm,
Somewhere, all these beings that I see around, they have this deeply ingrained, conditioned religious beliefs. Like you are from Sikhism, you have your own. Hindu will have their own. Islam will have their own. Christianity will. Everybody has their own. So
mm,
that is their power. So they believe in that. They are basically believers. Now, when they are turning spiritual, that beliefs, orthodox beliefs, what they have, that has a foundation and that has a deeper meaning. Like
Mm.
all the scriptures have a deeper meaning.
Mm.
Ramayana has a deeper meaning.
Yes.
Mahabharata has a different deeper meaning. But people are stuck in just the story of it
Mm.
because they have caught the messenger,
Mm.
forgot the message.
Mm.
Krishna is the messenger. He came with a message. They don't understand the message. They are
Yeah.
catching what leelas he did
Yeah.
because we are engrossed with this. That is needed because that is why avatars, gurus, all
Mm.
these divine beings come and do leelas because that is the only way they can catch your attention. You do a miracle and you look at them. If they're normal, why would you look at them? You
Yeah.
look at everybody. They will look
Yeah.
at all these avatars because
Yeah.
they're powerful.
Mm.
Why? Because they have a tendency to become powerful. They
Mm.
want that. They
Mm.
want power. They want something like that. So they get connected very easily. Something extraordinary because everybody wants to be extraordinary.
Yeah. Yeah. Yeah.
So that is the catch. All these mythology talk about great things and you
Mm.
get caught up in that. So
Mm.
what happens is it is better than the lower conscious mind,
Mm.
which is evil and criminal. Unse to behtar hai,
Mm.
religious people.
Mm.
So somewhere it catches their attention, but slowly they keep on evolving. And a time comes when they are forced to ask the question because there will be conflicts, many
Mm.
conflicts in their stories.
Mm.
Puranas will clash against each other. Vedas
Mm.
will clash against each other. Two gurus' teachings will clash against each other. Two gurus, chodo. Same gurus' two teachings will clash against each other.
Yes.
These conflicts will begin,
Yeah.
and then they will start questioning the deeper. That means they are ready now for the higher tattva.
Yeah.
So now we induce the real meaning behind it. So that is the reason I use scriptures because that is way I can catch attention.
Mm.
Second, since they believe in it, it is easy for me to prove it.
Yes.
This is
Yeah.
your scripture. I'm
Mm.
not saying it. It's coming from it. This is the meaning. So when
Mm.
I say, Shiva says, everything is a concept.
Mm.
You know, all this Bhairava, Bhairavi, Ardhanareshwara, Brahma, Vishnu, Mahesh, these are all concepts for the
Mm.
fanatic mind. He says,
Mm.
or Mand Buddhi,
Mm.
Bhrant Buddhi logon ke liye hai. He's
Mm.
telling Parvati in the
Mm.
highest scripture that
Mm.
this is not needed. This
Mm.
is for the dull intellect. I have given them all these concepts so that
Mm.
they can catch on like a ladder and
Mm.
climb. But
Mm.
Shakti, she has reached up. So she says, you don't need it. You have
Mm.
transcended it. So
Mm.
this state where she's telling, what is all this clashes?
Mm.
Nothing is making sense.
Mm.
Here you're telling one, there you're telling one. Then
Mm.
it is all for different category of people. You
Okay.
have risen. Now you
Oh.
drop all these concepts.
Oh.
You know. So now, previously I used to tell this without
Yeah.
reading Shiva Sutras,
Yeah.
without reading Vigyan Bhairav Tantra. I didn't know also,
Yeah.
but it is to come from within. And I used to tell people, and they ran behind me. I said, this guy is coming from a Christian family. He has some agenda.
Yeah.
He is brainwashing people and all those things. And then in Arunachala, I got all these texts in my lap. And
Yeah.
I said, wow, thank you. And I said, here's the proof. And
Yeah.
then I started talking something like these concepts and all these things, throw this away. And then I will tell, Shiva said this. When did he say? What are you saying? I don't trust. Go read this. It is
Yeah.
there from this text,
Yeah.
all given to Parvati.
Yeah.
And they are amazed.
Yeah.
See, this is how we open up things.
Yeah.
Otherwise, it's very difficult. You go raw directly, they will simply pounce on
Mm.
you. So I
Absolutely.
use scriptures.
Yeah.
So it is not mandatory, or
Mm.
it is mandatory only to give an authenticity to it.
Mm.
Secondly, you ask till when all this will go. This will all go on till they evolve. And it can take janmas also. It is not going to
Mm.
happen. We
Mm.
have all evolved that way only. You can be a bhakta, like 10 janmas,
Mm.
you can be a Hindu. And in that Hindu, 10 janmas, you can be criticizing other religion. Then you can say Muslims are this way, these
Mm.
people are that way.
Yeah.
And, then you are developing now new karmas.
Mm.
You are getting connected to the other parties now. Now,
Mm.
whom you are criticizing, the Param Tattva says, Shiva says, Chaitanya Mahatma in Shiva Sutras, everything is coming from there. There is
Yeah.
nothing other than Shiva, that
Yeah.
supreme consciousness. Now,
Mm.
that Shiva, I don't mean a Hindu Shiva. There is no
Mm.
Hindu Muslim Shiva.
Yes.
Shiva means God, irrespective of all that,
Mm.
supreme.
Mm.
So that is what I'm referring to. So when Shiva is in everything, he
Mm.
says it's in Muslim also. But if I don't get it, then I start cursing them. They do this, they do. What I develop now, I develop sanskaras. I
Mm.
become ready to them.
Mm.
Now, from 10 Hindu janmas where I've taken pride as a Hindu, I'm born in a Muslim family.
Oh.
I have to be born. And I go through that. And when I go
Mm,
through that, I start
mm,
reading the namaz, panch waqt ka namaz hi ho gaya.
mm,
I'm using their mantras and all those things. And then I become a fanatical Muslim. And in this Janma, what I do? I say, this is everything. Now, if I've learned till here
mm.
that that is not different, that is, it puts you in that
Yeah.
personally. And when you have learned, then slowly you eradicate all these things. So
Beautiful.
it can take multiple janmas. That is why Ramakrishna Paramahamsa directly experienced it. He
Mm.
didn't want to go through all those janmas. He said, let me see as an Islam. He dropped Kali Puja, everything for 1 month, put
Wow.
on the Muslim topi, took up the Quran and read it like a Quran, behaved like that. Panch waqt ka namaz. He wanted to see what happens. Then he took Christianity and he stopped his own personal pujas at that time,
Mm.
completely dedicated to that. See what he is doing, like how we have Janma experiences, he's fulfilling in one Janma. And
Mm.
the end conclusion was he said, I did that, I did this. I couldn't see a single ounce of difference in my experience of that godliness. It's the same. So
Absolutely.
those are examples. So people can take multiple lifetimes to come to that realization.
Mm.
So that's how their evolution. Now, how do we deal with this? By understanding this. That
Mm.
people can take time. So who understands, understand. That is my area of work. Who are not understanding, it takes care. And
Wow.
so who is sent to me in my vicinity are those people who need this much area of whatever I've been given this task to.
Mm.
How do I know what task God has given me? That's your natural capabilities. Like whatever you are doing, which is coming very naturally from inside, nobody to tell you, nobody to learn, no courses to do, nothing. It is
Mm.
from inside you feel, if
Mm.
I do this, my Janma is meaningful,
Mm.
purposeful. That
Mm.
is your assignment. That is called soul agenda. So if everybody lives their soul agenda, knowing their limitations and knowing this is what I've come to do in this Janma, let me focus on this and go, you're out of all the other troubles of what's happening beyond your arena.
Wow. So wonderfully you've explained. I just want to share this thing that my
Yeah.
daughter, she said I'm an atheist. I don't believe
Mm.
Mama in any religion because in our family there is a strict Sikhism. So her
Okay.
resistance is coming from there. Even
Okay.
she says these all are occults. But
Okay.
when I see the way she's leading life, she's actually on a spiritual path.
Yes. That's
So
what I said. Multiple lives she has evolved to come to this state, but she is born because of karmic debts. She has still something to pay in that religion.
yeah.
So that when she finishes, she's free. Yeah, go ahead.
So I just want to understand because this is something which I have experienced when I was with the university I was working. I have experienced this with youth that majorly they are in this phase. But
Yes.
what happened? Like I have seen personally in my life, but what happened when they are in this phase? They tend to tweak into a negative side, like negative energies surpasses. So
Yes.
how we can help these youngsters?
See, be it spirituality, be it religion, be it atheism or non-atheist, whichever field you go, duality is going to be there. We have to understand this very clearly.
Hmm.
There is no non-dual in any of this. But
Hmm.
non-dual means none of these exist.
Hmm.
So dual is there. Even you come to spirituality, there are challenges. Who said in spirituality people don't go negative? I've seen more horrid cases in spirituality
Yeah.
where people have gone completely negative.
Yeah.
Sometimes they take the Vam Marga. Sam Marga is there, Vam Marga is there. Two, right hand Tantra, left hand Tantra. So
Yeah.
you can come into Tantra, which is very beautiful, but
Yeah.
you can get lost in that. So I've
Hmm.
seen, and not chote mote,
Hmm.
big people also go in that. So these challenges there everywhere, not only in these group of youths
Hmm.
where they are having the new fad,
Hmm.
new spiritual badge is coming,
Hmm.
and they are happy with it, with
Hmm.
no title. Some people say spiritual but not religious. Good, it's a
Hmm.
good fad, but it will have its pros and cons. But again, as I tell, it's all part and parts of experience that they have themselves chosen. I have chosen to come here and experience something and learn out of it.
Hmm.
So this is all very properly planned because I know only when I go into the negative and get my hand burnt only I'll come out of it.
Hmm.
What happens is we tend to take only positive, 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 positive. Acha hi karo, acha. Nahi. How, what is acha without bura? There is no contrast.
Yeah, absolutely. But I want to ask in between this, like being a
Yeah.
mother, like I am a mother to her, I can see that,
That is where the problem is. That is where the problem. That is coming out of different angle. That is
so
coming
I
out of
see
your
that she is
attachment.
opting, Mama, I want to see God's side of the world. So she is attracted towards that thing also. I wear God's clothes, be resonating with God's things. So there,
Absolutely.
somewhere it is a fear also inside me. How I can support my kid and being very,
Definitely, because see, they will first see God outside only. That's sure. You and me, everybody has gone through that. We first relate to the God outside. Eventually, we travel inside and understand that God is not outside.
mm,
That is this being only from
mm,
within who's reverberating. So that is their first stage, their
mm,
understanding. But it's a good thought. They
mm,
want to understand how God feels. How
mm,
is it from that side? But who's that God? It's me only. So
mm.
technically, we are speaking how I feel. I
Yes.
want to know how I feel subjectively as God.
Mm. Yes.
So that they are actually asking, how does Aham Brahmasmi feel? Are you
Yes.
getting that?
Yes.
So
Yes.
they have to be guided in a little different manner, that saying that the God that you're seeking is a good thing, but
Mm.
that God is nothing but internalized. Those
Yes.
kind of texts can be given to them, those kind of posts can be given to them, where
Mm.
again and again the Advaitic philosophy is there, that the God is not outside, inside. So that which they are choosing and wanting to experience the God outside, easily they can turn inside because they are already having an attraction towards the God outside.
Mm.
So when they know that God outside and inside is there, they'll just from outside they will turn within. And when they turn within, eventually they will catch on those practices and they will
Mm.
start feeling how God is experiencing.
Yes.
Then you can tell about what is God. Shiva. Shiva is Nischala Tattva, the one that just witnesses. He's
Mm.
not active. He doesn't do this and that.
Mm.
Shakti is doing the other
Mm.
part. So
Mm.
that way we also are there. There is an inner being, soul, which is there, which just
Mm.
witnesses. That's the
Mm.
Shiva in me.
Mm.
And this is the Shakti, which is the ego doing around all these things.
Mm.
So this Shakti, if it just turns within, it
Mm.
will find the Shiva stillness, what you just experienced. What we
Mm.
did that when
Yeah.
you just expanded, eyes became still,
Mm.
mind became still. That is the Shiva Tattva.
Mm.
So this is how God feels.
Mm.
You know, on a larger term, if you see, Shiva doesn't interfere. He's not, oh, there is war going on there. Oh, there is a problem there. There is poverty here. What
Mm.
should I do? There is
Mm.
crime going on. Have you seen crime? Everything goes on, but there is no God's interference.
Mm.
Some people even say, oh my God, we are going to dogs. Oh, what is happening? Where is God?
Mm.
That God is a tattva that is aware of everything, but it has given a free will to
Mm.
everybody. You choose and you experience.
Yeah.
So, whatever He has given, the world is choosing and experiencing. He has nothing to do with it, He's watching it.
Mm.
So, it is our doing and undoing, whatever these things are.
Yeah.
So, once the children understand this tattva, they'll be very interested. And I'm telling you, I'm dealing with children.
Mm.
For my retreats, 8-year-old, 10-year-old kids come and they are more active and alert. They sit for 8 hours, 9 hours in that session with high tattva, deep tattva on the self. They are contemplating on Brahma Gyan, Atma Gyan, and they
Mm.
do the practices
Wow.
still. And they ask questions. These are not ordinary beings and they don't believe. They're not believers. Their
Yeah.
parents are into paths and this and that. They don't follow any path. They don't know religion. They can't understand. But you talk to them this, they're very interested
Wow.
because this is a deep science about themselves.
Yeah.
Children and especially teenagers, they want to explore life.
Yeah.
Though we must never
Yeah.
tell them spirituality is something where you stop all those nonsense outside and go within, they'll run away.
Yes.
You must tell them spirituality is outside and inside. Everything is spiritual.
Yeah.
Everything is an experience. Everything is valid. And everybody has the right to go and experience, but there are pros and cons. If you
Mm.
go this way, there is a pinch. If you go this way, there is a pat on the back.
Yeah.
Whichever you want, you can choose. And nobody says no. You want to get pinched? You want to have a tear? You want to have a bruise and suffer that pain? Go and experience it. Because
Mm.
only when you experience pain, you can understand what happens after the pain, the soothing experience of healing.
Wonderful.
How can you experience healing without pain?
Yeah.
So everything is a contrast. So we must allow them, but we must educate them in this manner. Go, my dear, go
Mm.
and enjoy.
Mm.
But these things are there. Don't put it as a fear. If you do this, this will happen. This is all religious fanatism.
Yeah.
They will run away.
Yeah.
You can tell, you do it. It's good. But you might have this kind of experience. It's a little painful, but okay, okay. So they will have knowledge in the behind that thoughts will be there. Even if they
Mm.
put their hand in something negative also, the thoughts will reverberate there is a price to pay for this.
Absolutely.
And they will pay it once or twice, then they will know, okay, mama I told, daddy I told, okay, I remember these things are. That is how these things can practically come into their life.
Yeah, beautifully. That's a perfect explanation. Thank you
and,
so much.
and I'm telling you, children are the best audience that I've had. I relate very easily, I can teach them very easily, they understand it very easily. Why, because they are out of this religious dramas.
Yeah.
When you say atheist, it's not bad. Buddha, Mahavir never taught about God. There is
Hmm.
no tattva of God in them.
Hmm.
There is no other philosophy, nothing. It is just
Hmm.
about the mind, consciousness, and experience. And they have succeeded.
Yeah.
So the tattva shows that even without the concept of God, also it can happen because it's
Hmm.
all chaitanya,
Hmm.
consciousness.
Hmm.
You don't understand that? Take a concept and do it. You can use a concept. So people use concepts also. And that's absolutely fine. Like in my case, I'll tell you, I'm a
Hmm.
Christian by
Hmm.
birth, this body. Okay. So what happened was when I came close with my guru, then my guru called His Grace, and we had a great time together. And I was learning so much. People felt little odd. This is a Christian boy coming from South India into North India. This black skinned guy into white skin community. They were unable to relate. What is this nonsense? And he's sitting with this guru. What is this? What is his background? What's happening? And then they come and tell me, we feel bad for you. I said, why? ओह! काश आपने थोड़ा मंत्र वगैरह पढ़ लिया होता, शास्त्र का ज्ञान होता, you would have understood Hinduism. See how one is going, these things are going. It would have helped you. I can see like you feel out of the place. You're looking, staring at everything. I said, no, my dear. I'm thankful. Purposely, the divine has put me into a Christian body to eradicate that concept. I was born without concepts. And
Wow.
without concepts, when I enter into this field of spirituality where my guru is teaching, I
Hmm.
can get it like this because none of my beliefs and conditions are hampered there. Straight going to the point. And I got it.
Hmm.
I said, that's a blessing.
Hmm.
So concepts and religion things can help only in the start. But
Yes.
beyond a certain point, they cannot help.
Yeah. But I have seen some people in religious path also, and maybe this is my experience with them. They have at a certain path, they have at a certain level, they are very particular about their religion and this religious practices. Their consciousness is very high, that even they can read other person's mind. They can help other persons. They can actually read consciousness of other person, what all people are thinking. And somewhere I can see as a behavior, they have a very rigid feeling about their religious practices. There, my internal conflict within my logic mind gives me that how come beings like this, those who are stuck within their religious practices, they have a higher consciousness? How come this is possible?
Not just in religion, even in spirituality, I've seen people
Hmm.
can go to a certain level and get stuck, even very, very high level. That is where even you can see rishis.
Hmm.
Rishis also are stuck in ignorance. Like Upadesaram, when rishis are doing the havan and
Hmm.
they are doing it for the world and Loka Kalyana, and Shiva says these people are stuck. Something has to be done. They're
Hmm.
not getting the point. Then
Hmm.
they come down and they play a Leela where he becomes a beggar and the Vishnu becomes a Mohini, a enchanting lady, and they go around and the rishis get flabbergasted by them and follow the the girl, and their wives follow Shiva. They don't know it's Shiva.
Hmm.
Bhikshu, handsome, mesmerized.
Hmm.
And see, this is the Leela played by the god. These are very deep teachings. And
Hmm.
when Mohini vanishes, the girl vanishes, Rishi says, somebody has played a trick, let's go back. They come back and see their wives are not there. Go to see, wives are following Shiva. Now they are angered.
Hmm.
First, Kama attacked them.
Hmm.
They ran behind that Mohini.
Hmm.
And after that, when they came back, they saw wives going, jealousy attacked them.
Yeah.
Now after that, मतलब खुद करो तो ठीक, वो करे तो ठीक नहीं है.
Yeah.
After jealousy attacking, now they want to fight that person.
Yeah.
They're angered by that
Hmm.
man who came and took their
Hmm.
ladies,
Hmm.
and now they try to fight. So
Hmm.
anger and vengeance and revenge going on there. So
Hmm.
they attack that person with their. Now what is happening? They have done siddhis. They
Hmm.
have powers, like you said, the very high consciousness. They
Yeah.
have all the capabilities.
Yeah.
They can see things. This
Exactly.
is more than that.
Yes.
But what are they using it for? Now they are bringing the astral snake and sending it towards to kill that person, and that snake is going and falling on the
Yeah.
neck. Then they put a tiger through their powers, and the tiger, that person takes the skin of the tiger and wears it, and slowly Shiva Swarupa is coming, and then they say, "Oh my God, there's nobody but Shiva himself."
Yeah.
And then they come to meet Shiva. Then he questions, "What are you doing?"
Yeah.
See, this is how they teach. Then say, "Oh, we are sorry." Then he reminds them all these flaws.
Yeah.
Flaws cannot be seen at that level. When you are very powerful, you
Exactly.
feel you are in that,
Yes.
then that's it. Then he tells the main thing.
Yeah.
You're using your siddhis for these purposes. Is this why you're doing tapas? You said you're doing tapas for something else. What is that? No, for Loka Kalyan, saving the humanity. And Shiva says, first save yourself. You
That's
are stuck. Because
that's
so
what.
many janmas
Yeah.
I am watching,
Mhm.
you are doing these great punyas, and that is you are gathering karmas. You come back again, take a birth, you do this repeatedly cycle. You are stuck, not humanity. Say
Exactly.
you get out of this, and the world will vanish. Like Ramana says, you get self-realized, all these things will just vanish for that person. So it
Mhm.
doesn't exist. Maya doesn't exist. That is how you save humanity, by saving yourself. So ignorance level is even on the spiritual aspects also. Where is the religion? Below that, spirituality only. So in religion also you'll find many. Now there can be many reasons for that.
Hmm.
One is insecurity, because that religion can be your only security, especially
Hmm.
people who are on the higher pedestals.
Hmm.
That's their everything.
Hmm.
That gives them power, that gives them control, that gives
Hmm.
them dominance.
Hmm.
It's a different feel
Yes,
when
it's a
you're there.
different. Yes.
So you don't want to let go of that. That is
Yes.
my everything.
Yes.
So they might even sometimes know it is not everything, but unfortunately, because that thing they want to hold on to, they will not allow somebody else also to go in that. And there is a lot of power in that. You can hold a lot of positions in that. That can be one. Second is their ignorance also can be there, like the rishis. They don't
Hmm.
do it purposely,
Hmm.
ignorant.
Hmm.
They don't have that. Though they are evolved, but a certain level of ignorance blocks them.
Hmm.
That is why Viveka is given so much of importance in this field, and shifting into awareness is all about developing and sharpening and purifying the intellect. Intellect is your Mahaguru. This has to be sharpened. People forget this, they will do everything, they will never open the third eye.
Hmm.
Unfortunately, many of the practices don't allow them to open this. Please understand this. Major religions also, they don't allow you to open this, because if you open this, you can see it and you become independent. You cannot be controlled now. Major religions also, they will do give you everything, but not this gyan. That is why you see gyan lupt ho gaya. Those then the Brahmin community, all those higher communities which were there, they said nobody can touch this.
Hmm.
Only we are authorized. Because if the general public reads it, Atma Gyan, if they come to know
Hmm.
and they understand that I am the creator,
Hmm.
Aham Brahmasmi, they will not need any support system, and everything is gone. So that is also one, that's one major thing which is there. This will not be very easily opened. Even the highest of practices, they will not directly tell you. I asked many times, there are so many paths. Okay.
Hmm.
So many paths right now, spiritual paths and all that. Why is not Devi Kalotra taught? Teach Devi Kalotra, teach Upadesh Saram, and they will become independent. Because Ramana says the same thing. That is why Ramana is not popular in all these spiritual arenas. He is, you will not see his posters, images. Why?
Hmm.
Because he directly says the outer guru brings you and introduces you to your inner guru.
Hmm.
The day you are introduced to your inner guru, the outer guru goes away. That
Hmm.
is why they say when the disciple is ready, the guru appears.
Yes.
And when the disciple is truly ready,
Hmm.
the guru disappears. That is why they say the guru's work is to lead you here. But unfortunately, that introduction doesn't happen.
Hmm.
Because once this happens, everything else is gone. Now your Guru Tattva is activated, your intellect is activated. That is why they say you are your own master. Yesterday we were talking about Mahavatar Babaji. He also said, you are your master and you are your disciple. Jesus said the same. Ma Laleshwari said the same. Ma Laleshwari said, I went out in search of my Guru.
Hmm.
And finally, when I returned back home, I found him at home. That means pura Brahman kiya. I
Hmm.
went to multiple places. Finally, when I settled in my own home, I found him within me,
Within
my
me.
own guru. I got introduced to my. So this one, which is there, which you asked the question, why people don't give up that which tells you the control is outside, your power is outside, it is
Yeah.
in this method, is it in
Mm.
this technique, it is in this person, it is by the grace of this deity, it is because of this church or this temple or this mosque
Mm.
or this community. This is what is helping you. That will be stuck in there only.
Mm.
Because the moment you come to know this is what guides you,
Mm.
all this will vanish.
Manage.
People who don't want that to vanish will not allow it to happen. These are very subtle things which is there, but I can see it's opening. In the
Mm.
past 10 years, a lot of work, and Mahavatar Babaji and Jesus Christ, they are all hand in hand. They are not dead and gone. They are there. Yesterday we were discussing all these tattvas. It's so palpable there, and right now also you can feel. They, it's so palpable. They are working. Not just them. It's a big team of ascended masters, and lot of work is going on. You can see programs like these and what you are doing, what I'm doing, what so many of them are doing. They're awakening. Children have begun doing this,
Mm.
and they are, mediators are delivering messages. Now it is not mediators who's doing it; it's the Guru Tattva that's doing it. Why? To awaken the consciousness, to enlighten everybody, to awaken everybody's Apo Deepa Bhava, which
Yeah.
Buddha said, be a light unto yourself. Because at his deathbed, the disciples came and said, oh, Master, you are living. Now what do we do? What has happened? They were highly dependent on the outside Guru only. And they did not learn this basic thing that he was trying to teach. He said, you are living, not give us one final Upadesh. He said,
Mm.
what final Upadesh? All my life I have been giving you Upadesha. You didn't catch it. What is this final Upadesh? And if you did not catch it for 25, 30 years, what are you going to catch in this 25, 30 minutes? That
Mm.
day he said, Apo Deepa Bhava. Be a light unto yourself. Buddha also realized
Mm.
this is another big hook. So his final teaching was
Mm.
be a light unto yourself, where he broke that barrier also, because people can remain incomplete.
Yes.
All the religions, all these people who feel power is outside somewhere, some savior, some avatar is going to come and save us.
Mm.
You are the avatars.
Mm.
We all are avatars. We have to save ourselves. Like Shiva said to Rishi, save yourself.
Mm.
And I can see that happening. And I am telling you this, mark my words, another 10 years, children, adolescent, teenage people will be talking what I'm talking. Another 10 years, just wait and watch. Young children, 10 years old, 12 years, 15 years old, will teach this, and you'll see them online. Just wait for 10 years.
Wow, beautiful. I can see in youth, I can see when, even I go to Isha, there are all youth there. And I'm looking to my daughter also, my kids. Like, I
Yes.
don't know how come they have left non-veg abruptly within themselves. They are on a
I
certain
see
way.
people, children don't not they don't drink tea, coffee also. Simple thing. Non-veg to dur ki baat. Even tea, coffee they don't touch. Amazing. And these are nothing but recycled souls. Okay.
Yes.
All those souls which were mature previously, now they are entering because this time is conducive.
Yeah.
So most of these divine souls are finding divine parents,
Yeah.
divine geographic locations where they can land up and fulfill their soul agenda. Okay, their line lagi hui hai.
Hmm.
So more awakened people are here. Those children will start dropping into those kind of families. They
Hmm.
will wait. They will not
Hmm.
be in a hurry to enter anywhere. So this platform, we have a responsibility, and all these who are coming are
Hmm.
mature souls. We cannot call them looking at their body. Hey, tu bachcha hai. Bachcha
Hmm.
main hu actually on consciousness level. If you see, so I have seen when I talk to parents, they feel disappointed, and I tell them because they are maybe in their 50s, 60s, and they say, "हमने तो कुछ नहीं किया. Our children are just 10 years, 20 years, and they are beautiful future, but we were very late." I said, "Don't go by that. It's not like that."
Hmm.
Now, let us say you have ripened to this level at 60 and then you conk off.
Yeah.
If you leave the body,
Yeah.
next you are ripened soul now waiting. When you enter another womb,
Yeah.
probably at 5 years only, you will start doing a lot of things.
Yeah.
So your parents will say, Ramni kya kiya? This is
Absolutely.
how the whole thing works.
Yeah. Yeah. Beautiful. This conversation is actually giving me an It's not a simple conversation. This is something else. I don't know. It is actually giving me a certain kind of an experience.
Yes, I know, because it is out of the regular stuff that we talk in
Yeah, and
spirituality.
even
That's
I
why.
had a lot of these questions I have written. I haven't asked you any of that questions from you. I don't know.
But I hope they are answered.
They all are answered. They all are answered.
Ah, that's
Only
the
the
beauty.
last thing which is going on in my mind is, like you said, there is a soul agenda. Every soul is having an agenda,
Yeah.
purpose. So I like coming only. This question is confined from my mind and from my life. I want to ask, and I think this is the right time to ask to you. I've learned so many. I've done a lot of trainings, whether it's a landmark education. There's another training which is self-development training. I did the Joe Dispenza, if you know him. He has,
Oh, Dr.
yes,
Joseph. Yeah,
yes,
excellent.
Joe Dispenza. I've gone through his trainings. I've done Isha. I've done other work. Somewhere I feel like, there are a lot of wisdom I have carried in my life from all these aspects. And I'm not clinched to any of the religious aspects now. I can see I can see the energies everywhere around me. Whether it's मतलब I listen to शिव जी के मैं सुनती रहती हूँ कभी हनुमान जी के कभी गुरु ग्रंथ साहिब जी के I think everywhere the same thing is happening.
Hmm.
And somewhere I being associated with the guru and definitely Isha, I keep contributing in the foundation as a volunteer. But somewhere there is a huge urge within me, a huge urge within me to create something where even a person who cannot afford anything, a person who is a very layman, somebody who's dealing with life. And when I see people like that, like yesterday only, my badminton, मेरे बेटे का badminton का teacher है, उसकी बेटी को syndrome बहुत specific syndrome disease है, and he's in a trauma.
Okay.
And then I see that this technology, I got to learn the whole understanding from Joe Dispenza, the scientific understanding of all this which you have mentioned. Very beautifully in his course, he has explained every aspect from the atomic part. He has explained
Yes.
everything the way you have explained. And then, I was thinking how I can bring all this wisdom in a very layman language and can provide to people in a way where it is accessible to many, and many can take advantage and
Yes.
can.
What you can do is, see, you have assembled all these things from multiple places, multiple, and that is all needed. We cannot reach a state of evolution without having multiple teachers. Like I credit so much, major chunk goes to my Gurudev, Abdul Shivan. So he played a major role. I definitely have credits to that. But there are other teachers, so we've gathered and they have become our stepping stones. So
Hmm.
gratitude to all of them. That's
Hmm.
one thing. But when we assemble all these things, you will
Hmm.
see you become a certain vibration. That's
Hmm.
why I say everybody is unique. Nobody is a copy paste.
Hmm.
Like you are vibrating on a certain level. I certainly have my own level of vibration and understanding by what I have gathered.
Hmm.
Now, if you see, I don't have a skill. What I am doing right now is what I've gathered by my perception, by my studies, by my experimentation.
Hmm.
And what I deliver right now is what I am. So,
Yes.
what I would like to say is all that you need to do, whatever those goals are and this and that, you start off with a small thing. The whole thing will just fall into place, because what you're trying to do is you need not plan things. You need not put things in paper and say, I let me gather it from here and take this or make a syllabus. Nothing.
Hmm.
Just what you vibrate on, just be useful to them. Like you started with laymen or who cannot afford. So in those areas, just start delivering. Actually, if you ask me, that is how I began.
Yes.
So I used to talk to people in my
Yes.
community, and then I saw people coming and sitting at home, and 4 hours they're talking and talking and talking and talking.
Yeah.
And I didn't know this quality is there in me.
Yeah.
It took me at least 7, 8 years before I met my guru to even understand I have this skill,
Yeah.
to even understand my soul agenda. So
Yeah.
that's okay. Life will teach us.
Hmm.
And maybe it needed a little more polishing. So it sent me to this guru, to that place, this avadutas, and all that. And once it was gathered, that same tattva, which I was doing free for people and whatever available, that
Hmm.
started expanding. Then this medium, this platform came in, and then the same talent I put it here. Whoever could benefit out of it, they came forward. They started sponsoring, and
Hmm.
things came. So First is you must have a good ground. You must be financially independent so that you can help others.
Hmm.
Basically, I would say if I am not capable of that, I cannot help the poor.
Hmm.
So I have to first think about myself, and it's not selfish.
Hmm.
In fact, you can be selfish because all the tapasvis, all the great gurus,
Hmm.
they are in those states, rishis,
Hmm.
because of their selfishness.
Hmm.
They were selfish. They closed down the doors. They didn't talk to anyone. They
Hmm.
didn't care about the world. They
Hmm.
didn't care about anything else, anybody's emotions, feelings. They were only self centered in their tapas.
Hmm.
When they are selfish only, you can become selfless.
Yeah.
So it's okay to
Hmm.
become selfish until you are so capable, and that will automatically happen. There is no plan.
Hmm.
That when it automatically happens, you are safe because your agendas don't come in there. You
Yeah.
know, you are living your soul agenda as it is, as it comes, as it comes. All that you need to hold is that vibration of your dream,
Hmm.
that vibration of your dream that you are sending or delivering it. So many people. So that dream need not be on paper. It can be in your vibes. You carry it in your consciousness day in, day out. And you see, you feel, you experience that you are sending out that vibes and it's happening in your consciousness, you know, and you'll see automatically within time, it will start unwinding by itself in its own way, which is meant for your highest good, whichever way. If I put my head, then I can maybe do something else than what is for my highest good. But if I allow it, just holding the vibration of my dreams,
Hmm.
of what I want to serve more than dreams, because dreams are like, you can say they have vested interests.
Yes.
But if you say your sole agenda, the
Hmm.
purpose of life,
Yeah. Hmm.
holding your purpose all the time,
Hmm.
eventually you will attract it automatically.
Yeah.
Does that help?
Yes, yes, absolutely, absolutely. This was very profound, profound conversation, Jake. This was like for me, it has opened up so many aspects and the ways
I'm
I
sure
thought
the listeners also will have that openings.
they will be blown definitely. And even I will share with my family, extended families. Thank you
Definitely,
so
this is
much.
not related to personal or
Yeah,
professional. This is life.
this is
Life is professional plus personal, world and the spiritual both together. I don't know your audience. They are more of which.
so there'll be like I have 5,000 network in LinkedIn. I'll be
Okay,
sharing with them. I'll be sharing on my social media platform, Instagram, Facebook. So there's a
okay,
huge lot of personal professional network where I'll be sharing these resonate reflections. But this
definitely,
is actually
definitely.
resonating the reflection because I am
It
actually
will. It will.
experiencing what you're being.
It will because see professional corporate zones and all don't have time for
Yeah.
spirituality and techniques and meditation. They don't want it and it's not boring. Spirituality is not boring.
Mm,
People have made it boring. The
yes.
people who define spirituality.
Yes.
Spirituality is living like this. See, when I was in Gangotri, I was very serious into this. Almost like a sannyasi, I was almost my life. So a sannyasi met me, Anand Tirth Maharaj there
Mm,
in Gangotri, and he told me one thing.
mm.
We identified each other suddenly, out of the blue, synchronicity. He
Oh.
said, I follow you on Instagram, he told. And I said, great, Maharaj, we'll
Wow.
meet. And we
Wow.
met. Where are you? In that whole of, sorry, not Gangotri, Uttarkashi.
Oh.
In that whole of Uttarkashi, I'm asking him, where are you, Maharaj? Where shall we meet? He asked me, where are you staying? I said, Avadut Ashram. He said, my ashram is next to it only. And that night we met.
Wow.
And he is an amazing, very beautiful, silent, humble soul. He's not very public. So
Mm,
he met me and he hugged me, and then in his room he made me comfortable. And in Malayalam, my mother tongue, he spoke and he said, "What you are doing, continue doing it
mm,
without changing your attire. First of all, don't get into that." I said, "Why is he saying this?" Then he said, "See, we are sannyasis. We
yeah.
cannot. We have our limitations,
Yeah.
and you are already doing that work in this. So don't think about changing it. Whatever you are saying is nothing but Upanishads."
Yeah.
I said, "Is it? Yes, it is." So I had an affirmation, and from a master, from a great personality, as a yogi who has been 25 years
Hmm.
into the whole Vedanta he has studied in Uttarkashi, in one of the oldest ashram in Uttarkashi,
Mm,
introduced me to his guru also. He knows Vedanta, everything profound,
mm,
and 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 comment coming from a person like him was an honor to me. And that is what I said. The Lord speaks. This is my confirmation. So I
yeah.
said, okay, fine. And I love spirituality this way. Why change dress and why put this and why put rosary and this? Live life very practically. So
Yeah.
if the corporate zones, if the professionals are told there is nothing to change, no lifestyles to change,
Yeah.
ब्रह्म मुहूर्त में नहीं उठना है आपको, 4 बजे उठ के ठंडे पानी में नहीं नहाना है, आपको ये वो सब छोड़ना नहीं है. You
Yeah.
leave your cigarettes, you leave your alcohol, you leave your parties, you leave your non-veg and everything, and meditate. They'll not.
Mm.
You have to tell them you can do those things, but simultaneously you can be in awareness, learn to be in awareness, so that even if you're smoking, smoke in awareness. Because what happens when you smoke in awareness,
Yeah.
the tendency, the craving starts dropping.
Yeah.
That's how, see, I was a chain smoker
Mm.
and an alcoholic. From 6 p.m. to 1 a.m. at night, I'm in the bar every single day for 4.5 years. That's
Yeah.
how I lived. 2 packs of Gold Flake Kings I was smoking every single day. And that I did not leave these. My guru had told once, don't leave your habits. Habits must leave you. How do habits leave? When you start increasing your vibrations, your frequency, your consciousness, whatever is of lower frequency will start dropping out of you. People of lower frequency will start vanishing out of your life. All the habits, all the systems. So basically, what I'm trying to tell all the professionals is, without managing your life, life gets managed. All that you have to do is keep vibrating and understand frequency. And whatever you do, even if it is partying, party in full awareness. When you're having a drink, also know that I'm drinking, flavor it, taste it, everything drop by drop. And I'm telling you, if your whole cells start getting that experience of nourishment, it the vasana gets completed. What is happening is अंदर से वासना उसकी खत्म हो रही है. But what we do is we are not available to that vasana. We are smoking, puff, 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 but we are thinking, we are talking. Sharir, the cells are not getting that contentment.
Yeah.
So what happens is after that smoking thing, after a few hours, again you get craving. Cells
Yeah.
are asking for completion. So what I teach people is give it completion. Don't drop things. It is not easy to drop it. So you enjoy it at the same time, enjoy the godly part of you also, consciousness also. And you'll see slowly as that increases, that which is not for your highest good will automatically start leaving. Which is better? Struggling with these things or simply working on these things? And for that, what do you need? Simple practices. Very simple practices, morning to evening. You can check out my website, shiftingtoawareness.com. There everything is there, courses, all these things are there. Whichever appeals to you,
Yeah.
very simple. Use it in daily life and things will start working out. And wait
Very,
for 1 year at least and you'll see the changes.
very profound. Very, very profound. I'll put all the information definitely in the comment sections. So,
Sure.
but this was amazing and a very profound and a very easy way, I think, to move forward in spiritual.
Yes. Yes. Very simple. Life is simple. Spirituality is very simple.
Very
We complicate it. I always say this. Spirituality is very simple. We complicate it. Life is very simple. We complicate it.
Yeah, very true. So thank you so much, Jake. I really want to thank
Thank
from
you.
the core of my heart for giving me this
Thank you.
time and opportunity to being in your space because I really felt your space. And I
Yes. That,
being blessed to be connected people like you in my life.
as you
So
say,
thank you.
felt your space. I tell all the people who are in that space to develop your space, because your space should become so profound that whoever is in your space say the same, and then you pass it on from there. That
Yeah.
is called what my Bhagwan Nityananda, my Pratham Guru, who told me, Jyot se Jyot jagao.
Wow.
Spread the light.
Yes.
Don't keep it about
Yeah.
worthiness, unworthiness, nothing
That's
like that.
that's
You
what
be
I
that, and yeah, that is how we spread light. So I would suggest you do it further, and whoever benefits from this, keep spreading that presence further. That's how
definitely
we make a beautiful world. Jyot se
yeah.
Jyot jagao.
Very true. Very
And thank you for calling me here. I had a lovely time today here,
true.
speaking to you.
Thank you
It was
so
very
much.
good.
Yeah,
Thank you.
this was an experience for me. This is not a conversation. This is the actual experience. Actually, I am sitting in a meditative state.
Yes, that will happen
Yeah.
because that will happen. That's the power of presence.
Yeah.
And imagine two presences at one time can make so much of difference in others. The good you spoke about this presence. Presence is very important. And that's what I'm telling you. It's not the words. When you are listening to the world, something happens to you. I'm sure the viewers, when they are listening very carefully, they will have become still. Suddenly, there will be peace of mind. Suddenly, you will find hope. Suddenly, there will be something coming, joy coming forth. You want to look forward to life. All these things happen. So that's consciousness that does the work, not the words.
Beautiful, beautiful. I really feel gratitude towards you, towards the divine and my masters for bringing me this
Yes.
conversation. And thank you so much
Gratitude
for
to
taking
all.
up your time. Thank you.
Stay blessed. Stay blessed. See you.
Thank you.
Bye. Bye.